talked about it yesterday, just that chip on your shoulder. Everyone talking about a neutral AFC championship game, not even thinking about you guys. How much did that motivate you coming into this?
You better send those refunds.
I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. Back-to-back champs, kings of the north with it. Thinking they can hang with us, still ain't jumped out the porch with it. Long bomb to chase every Sunday, watch him go and get it. Double up on him, then we gon' double down on T. Higgins. Then throw Boyd in the mix, now you really iffy. Every Sunday showing boys how to really gritty. They try to shuffle up the game on us, but they ain't icky. Flip the coin, kick the toe right to the go and get it. Never know what's gonna happen when Joe drop back. He get shiesty in the pocket, I get shiesty on the track. Nobody on the team all pro, that's all cap. Most all around team in the NFL, that's all fact. Ain't came across nobody yet that seem like they can hang with us. They said we couldn't be Buffalo, but see how we call they bluff. Underdogs every week, they keep on trying to label us. Put your money on us, even if Vegas don't favor us. No matter what, we really came up, now it's hard to fail. I dare you come across that middle, Von gon' ring your bell. I know we under they skin, them boys built frail. Eli Apple out there chirping like a next tail. You don't want Salmon Trey to come off them ends. Rita clogging up the middle like a big body Benz. Right behind them Logan and Pratt, the turnover twins. Jesse Bates in the backfield just to clean up the loose ends. We just drafted Cam and drafted Hill. Instant gratification every time that they on the field. We can't go back to what we was, cause that's the loser way. It's been hard to throw on us since we picked up a Woozier. It's like win after win, feel like we could really do it. Zach Taylor doing his thing for the city, I give it to him. And I bet Samaji will find a hole if you give it to him. Hayden Hurst don't need a hole, he just plan on running through him. Just hand it out to 28 and let him do the dash. Getting hit by BJ Hill probably feel like a car crash. Every week it seem like Lou digging deeper in his bag. And if the game on the line, all my faith and money match. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up.
What do we say, dog? They gotta play us! That's right, they gotta play us. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm back from the dead. Been sick for about a week, but feeling much better. Happy to be back with you guys. Anyway, what's going on? Welcome to the show. Like I said, this is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Turnipole. And as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the back-to-back AFC North champion Cincinnati Bengals. Now, do me a favor. If you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. You guys are awesome. I've been gone for a week, but my subscriptions are still the same. I'm at 2,327 subscribers. As always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitter and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, why not? Please do so. Please go to the YouTube channel, Sports with Strawberry Ice. Hit the subscription button at the bell for notification. Every time I go live, you'll be notified. Also, exclusively in the YouTube chat crew, we're doing super chats. So if you want to support the show or you got a question about the 53-man roster, or you're surprised that somebody got cut, or you're surprised they kept somebody, or you just want to support the show, give me a super chat. I greatly appreciate it. And as always, I'm coming to you live from this glorious place down here. It's the Ice Cave. And the Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out their website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And you know what? I wear it every single day. I got the shirt on today. We got the greatest quarterback in the league who, by the way, he's going to play week one. Like all this stuff, he's going to play week one. I know we just got Jake Browning. We got two quarterbacks. You got Jake Browning. You got Joe Burrow. If they're worried about Joe Burrow not playing, I think they would have kept Trevor Siemian. Anyway, Joe Burrow's playing. But if you want any of the gear, go to jackpotjoey9.com. If you want some of the beer, go to Brink Brewery. Portions of the proceeds for all of that go to the Joe Burrow Foundation and the Joe Burrow Fund. What is up to everybody in the chat? I think Stranger's first, right? Yeah, Stranger. Yes, I know Stranger. We were talking about this. They released Kuntz. Dude, I would love it. I would be shocked if he makes it to the Bengals on waivers. But there's hope. There's hope. You never know. Brad, what's going on? Johnny Paps is in there. What's going on? Ross, John's in there. What's going on there? Everybody, I'm glad you guys stuck with me, even though I was gone for a week. Anyway, so I've been trying to get a show. So I had a whole bunch of stuff set up last week, and then I got sick, and I had to cancel everything. So I wasn't able to get anybody come on the show today. I'm like, well, it's a 53-man roster. Cut down there. We got to get somebody on here. So I had to go and get Joe from Bengals to see if I can get him to come on. And luckily, he's not that busy of a guy. He's able to come on. So So here's Joe. What's going on, man?
I'm always available when you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, man. What's going on, Iceman? How are you?
I'm good, brother. Good. I'm just kind of. There's not a lot of shocks, I would say. I mean, Trevor Siemian shocked. I think that surprised me that they cut him because they did go out and sign him. And the room I'm worried about, you may talk about this off the air, is tight end room. I mean, thought for sure. I'm going to forget his name again. The guy from the Giants,
Hudson.
I thought for sure he was going to make it, and they cut him. But here with it, I can bring this up. This is from the Bengals here. If you guys can see it, the official 53-man roster. What's your thoughts there? Joe, you got any surprises? I mean, Travion Williams is still on. That one kind of surprised me since he hasn't played much. Sample, Wilcox, Smith. What do you got?
It's kind of weird because they've kind of forgotten. I don't want to say forgotten, but the tight end position has kind of just been something that they haven't paid a lot of attention to. We were all expecting them to draft somebody, a project, even after they signed Irv Smith. Didn't draft anybody, didn't sign, didn't really sign any league free agents, of note, priority guys. And they're pretty much keeping the same room that they had last year out, subbing Irv Smith for Hayden Hurst. And it's interesting. They're not deep, but
no,
they also,
they don't use a tight end. I mean, that's kind of where I was at with the draft. They don't really use a tight end, but still, I mean,
you'd like to have someone more dynamic, and especially Irv Smith has injury history. So if he goes down, then you're left with Wilcox and Drew Sample as your pass catchers. And
I say, actually, all three of them do. Drew Sample is coming back from a knee injury. Mitchell Wilcox just got healthy to play. So honestly, none of them have been that healthy to play.
Yeah.
So but I mean, that's, to me, I mean, it sucks because this is the thing we were talking about during the draft. It's like, by God, they're going to draft a tight end. They're going to draft a tight end. And well, they didn't. And now we're kind of still kind of in the same ballpark, which, I mean, it's like you said, if Irv Smith stays healthy, I don't think anybody's worried about it, Matt, but it's if he stays healthy.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest question. And dude, honestly, we're talking about one position. I mean, in a backup quarterback, I mean, everything else is pretty set. I'm not, too worried about anything else. Is there anything else that like offensive line or anything like that kind of surprised you?
That they kept Trey Hill. He has looked terrible. Anytime they put him in a guard, anytime they put him in a center, he doesn't look like he's NFL caliber.
Right.
And they tried Max Sharping at center through camp, and he looked passable. Like he looked like he passed him up on the depth chart. So it's kind of surprising to see him stick around.
Especially when they cut Adeniji, which, I mean, Adeniji has started for you in the Super Bowl. Hill started a handful of games. It hasn't looked good at all in any of them. I mean, at least Adeniji, what you got with him. He can play guard. He can play tackle for you. Hill pretty much, I mean, he's an okay center and, I don't know, half-ass guard, I guess. So, yeah, that one is kind of surprising. But again, I mean, Joe, we're grasping at straws here, to be honest, to really find anything that really, like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. I do think the waiver wire is going to be interesting for the tight end room, especially, and the backup QB. Those are the two things that we're going to pick somebody up, I think.
I think there's a chance they pick someone up from the running back room. I am curious because we really haven't heard anything about Travion Williams. Right. Is he healthy? Are they just carrying him through till tomorrow till they can put him on IR for a few weeks? It's been weird crickets around him. Like they said he wasn't going to play in the game on Saturday. So was that because he has a job and they didn't want to risk him, or because he wasn't healthy? Like it's weird. I don't know.
But he hasn't really practiced it that I've seen. I mean, I've seen him do things, but not actual practice when I've been down there.
Yeah.
And it was a sprained ankle. I mean, I asked him, as he's going by, how you feeling? He said, "Oh, I'll be fine. I'm gonna be good." I mean, of course he's going to say that. So that is an interesting thing. I guess that he's healthy, but is he your RB2 going in, or is Chase Brown? Is he your RB2? Because I was pretty impressed with him. And I've been impressed, honestly, with Chris Evans, too. I mean, I know he didn't play last week, but the 2 games before that, I thought he played pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, those two kind of were the ones that were battling, presumably for the backup spot or the third down role. But I don't know. Is Travion Williams the third down back now? Is Chase Brown the backup? I mean, those are two different positions.
Right.
if Mixon goes down, then probably Chase Brown's going to be your starter at as it is, but then figure out the scrum behind. But it's I still think there's a good chance they bring somebody else in just because there's not a lot of experience. Travion Williams, another guy who's injured all the time.
That's been his biggest problem.
Yeah,
Tom here says Brooks, or Tom Brooks said Zach said he's healthy and will compete for the third down back, which I guess he's talking about Travion.
Yeah, which
I was thinking he was competing for the RB2 more than the RB3 right now. But with the injury and everything and him not being able to play, I can see that. So as of right now, I think if they got it listed, let's see if they got it listed on here. Which way they have the running backs listed here? Do they have them on there? Let me scroll through here. Which I thought one thing that was interesting. I thought tight ends they put Drew Sample first. You see that they get Drew Sample listed as number 1. Which I think is interesting. Am I missing the running backs here? Oh, there it is. Right there. They got Travion listed as 2 on here, which I think that's for what it's worth. Then Chris Evans and Chase Brown. They just might be the way they typed it in. I don't know, but like I said, they had Drew Sample at number 1. So, but yeah, it's going to be interesting as what the whole running backs. It's kind of interesting how they're going to do who's RB2, who's RB3, and I don't know if it's been settled. To be honest, for what I've seen, we've got 2 weeks left.
Yeah, and it's I really think the room's still going to, even if it's with the guys that are in it, how they start out in week 1, it's not going to be how they end in week 18 going into the playoffs.
Right. Right.
So it's, I think everyone's hoping and assuming Chase Brown's going to ascend. I think there's a chance that Chase Brown is going to start stealing some carries from Mixon because he is the only one who's got legitimate explosion by the end of the year. So
now, Mike here was, are we worried about the blocking abilities of the running back? Yes. Yes, yeah. I am.
I think that's the reason that Travion Williams is still on this team because he's a good blocking, he's small, he's 5'9", but he's incredibly solidly built. He's like 210 and he just looks like a fire hydrant.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. He throws his body around kind of like P. Ryan did. So I think that's the reason why he's still around, because if something happens to one of the young guys, they don't perform, they at least have him to fall back on. So, but I also think that means that if they do go after a veteran, Williams is the guy who'd be on the chopping block.
Probably, yeah. Crip here's got a question. It's a question for Iceman Joe. Zach Taylor said something about the more expensive the roster gets, the younger the team becomes. So was that a front office cut down day or was it talent? I think it's facts because the more talented the guys are up front, the guys behind them have got to be younger and cheaper. So that's kind of what I think. I don't think there's anything for front office. I think it's more of just facts of the way the roster is constructed. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, that's kind of a lot of the reason why they don't have a lot of money in a backup quarterback, because they need that for their starting quarterback.
Yeah, which hopefully they'll sign sometime soon.
Yeah, that's it. It's going to happen, right? Like, we're not starting it, are we?
I'm starting to. But let's say worst case scenario, they don't sign him. He's still got another year. So,
he's got his 5th-year option.
Yeah, he's got 4 more years. So they don't have to. Yeah. But, it's kind of like, what are we waiting on?
Yeah, you'd rather get a you don't want to fall into an issue where what the Ravens had with Lamar Jackson, where you're kind of sweating out like some kind of holdout, or him. Jackson held in with his injuries this past season. He was healthy enough to play, and he slow played it because he didn't have his contract. So obviously you don't want that.
No, exactly. Now let's go. Bring up what you got here. Now these are the guys. I'll let you read it. These are ones that are actually cut. Is that what this is here?
And this left side of the screen are the starters, the depth chart, and the right side of the guys who was cut. I know we're all sad to see everyone's favorite Max Hippenhammer get the axe.
I crying.
Right. The one guy, at least from the skill position players, they're going to bring back a running back, probably. I don't know, Calvin Tyler or Jacob. One of those two guys, but the one receiver that I think they really, really want to keep around is Bo Jackson's nephew, Shedrick Jackson.
Yes.
He's got a lot of ability. He's raw. He's a slot guy. So if you can keep him around for a year and then you have him as your backup slot guy next year after TV leaves, I liked what I saw from him. He seemed like he ran pretty crisp routes. He's quick as hell. Again, you've got any chance to get Bo Jackson on the sideline, like 1990, that's the Bo Jackson.
Totally get rid of the curse. Have Bo Jackson on the side of the Bengals.
We exercise those goats, like or those ghosts, like it's gone. Let's bring Bo Jackson around. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, probably the greatest athlete of our lifetimes.
Right.
Even if it's just his nephew, like he'll come around. He'll come to Paycor.
I can see Stanley Morgan coming.
Stanley Morgan,
I can see him coming back. I can see Uncle Mike coming back.
Yeah, like those are guys that aren't subject to waivers, so they can sign wherever they want to. And those are guys. Mike Thomas is absolutely coming back. It's pretty clear just listening to him. He doesn't want to play anywhere but Cincinnati.
Right.
And he knew this was happening. I mean, he gave his jersey after the game. He handed his jersey, put it on Tyson Anderson's chair in the locker room, like as this kind of passing of the torch type thing. Everybody loves him. He's a guy you need around. He's a guy who's just going to preach culture. He's a guy who is teaching guys who he knew was going to take his job. Those are absolute guys you keep in the building. I didn't even bring up Stanley Morgan because I think there's a good chance he's back tomorrow after they put guys through IR. Again, I don't know if it's just going to be Osai or anybody else, but there's a good chance that he's back as wide receiver 7.
How ecstatic would you be if Kuntz all of a sudden they announce him signing with the Bengals tomorrow?
He was my draft crush. His size, he's 6'8".
Yours and Stranger loved him.
Yeah, it's I love me some Kuntz. Hang on, getting a little profane here. No, I don't know if your audience familiar with the RAS, like the athletic score.
Uh-huh. The RAS. Yeah, I've had him on my show before.
He's a perfect 10.0. Like his size, his speed, his agility, his strength. He's a perfect 10.0. Like these are projects that you go after. These are guys that you bet on traits, and then you work them into your system. Now he's older. He's 24, and you don't really want a whole lot of 24-year-old projects, but that's a guy worth taking a a waiver claim. I mean, it's not like you're signing him to a long contract. Right.
Well, plus he gave you the Eagles playbook too if we play him in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Super Bowl. I would say.
And here's the thing. You get around the goal line, you just tell him, go stand in front of the goalpost, and you throw it at the crossbar. And he's going to be able to, I don't know who's going to be able to out-jump someone that size and that strength and that athletic ability. You just throw it up. And that's what they did to Antonio Gates for when he first broke into the league. Similar sized guy, like just
strangers preaching for you. 40th vertical. Yeah, like I said, Stranger loved him. He wanted them. He wanted the Bengals to draft him. I remember.
Yeah, he was my. If they don't get one early, this is the guy I want them to get late in the draft. And they
didn't draft anybody.
Completely ignore the position.
Dude, like I said, if you would have told me at the beginning of the draft that we weren't going to draft anybody when we needed a tight end, and this is a tight end heavy draft, I would have said you're crazy. I would have swore we would have drafted one, but they never did.
And they drafted 2 wide receivers when the Bengals have a stacked wide receiver. I mean, you draft what you're going to use, I guess. But it was really definitely weird.
Dude, they have a really stacked wide receiver room now. I mean,
it's crazy. Crap. It's crazy. The guy, again, Shedrick Jackson would make 28 teams starting 53.
Yeah.
And he had no chance to make the 53-man roster.
Well, I mean, and I'll be honest, when they drafted Yosivas, I thought of him more as a project. And I said that when I was on Zimmy's show on Cincinnati, like the day or two after the draft. And I was wrong. I was completely wrong. I mean, he has shocked the crap out of me. I mean, he looks like a legit wide receiver. I mean, he's actually looked better than Charlie Jones has. Now, Charlie Jones has been hurt with his shoulder and everything, but I've been really impressed with Yoshi.
I am like, I have talked about making my show just an exclusive Yoshi fan club.
Love fest.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, you draft a receiver he's got a track and field background. So, like someone with that background played in the Ivy League, you figure they haven't had had as much time as these other receivers to own their craft. Uh-huh. And he looks like he's been out there doing nothing but football. And he's physical, like 6'3", 210. I mean, he looks like an absolute monster out there. And can you imagine running 4 wideout sets when you have Boyd and Chase in the slot, and then put Higgins and Yoshi on the outside? Who do you cover?
Well, that's where you kind of go to the point, like, do we really need a tight end? Which you do. And that's where I'm like, I'm worried, but I'm not, because they don't really use a tight end a lot. But
safety valve, and that's
safety valve. But if Irv Smith is healthy, Joe, I can't wait. I want to see him split wide. That's what I want to see for Smith. I want to see him go vertical a couple of times because that's a whole different ballgame that we've never had in this offense.
Yeah, he's too much for a not so much his size because he's a shorter tight end, but his route running ability and his speed. He's too much for a linebacker to handle. So
exactly. Now, Matt here, Mike wants Osabi or Joseph Osabi longer than week 1. I don't know. I mean, me and Joe were talking about this before. I thought it was only going to be week 1. You said something about they might put him on the pup or something like that. Was that you talking or you read something like that?
No, this is just. We'll find out tomorrow afternoon how injured he is. If they don't put him on IR, then he's probably going to be back after at the worst case after the Baltimore game in week 2. If they put him on pup put him on IR, then yeah, it's a little more severe, and they'll probably try to bring back. I'd like to see him bring back Raymond Johnson III.
Yeah,
I absolutely just
IR. He's done for four weeks.
4 weeks, yeah. You can start practicing after 2 weeks, but you're out for the first 4.
Which L is on the IR. They had a couple. I
he's on pup.
Or pup. He's on a pup. Sorry.
Yeah, I always get those two confused.
Yeah,
someone corrected me. Like,
he's
kind of.
So how long is the pup? Is that 6 weeks or is that?
I think it's 4 as well, but because he hasn't practiced, he was never activated.
Yeah.
He can stay on pup, which is a totally different list. You don't have to carry him on the 53 through cut downs.
Right. I mean, he's moving around. I saw him pushing sleds and running and stuff, but he hasn't participated in practice at all. The whole no mini camps, no training camp, nothing.
I think that was the plan. I think he probably could have if they wanted to, but they probably told him, said, "Listen, we're going to put you on pup. Do all your individual workout, and then we'll when you're healthy, when you're 100% healthy, and when we need you." And I think that's might be the only reason why they kept Trey Hill around, just to keep that extra lineman until they're able to activate him. But
right. Robert here says 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay, I thought I knew it was 6, and
I don't want him 4, one of them 6, or it could be you could do it 4 or you could do it 6.
IR used to be 6 weeks, and then they changed it, so it's I always get confused because there's so many different designations. There's IR designated to return. There's season-ending IR, and
yeah, we don't want anybody on that one yet.
Dustin
said, can you see a scenario in which 3 of our 7 draft picks could be game incentivized, which shows how deep we are? Murphy, if Osai is healthy, Ivy and Yoshi.
Ivy's definitely going to be inactive.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think they keep most of the wide receivers. I think Yoshi's probably going to be active.
Yeah, the only one I could see that might have, like he says, Ivy. Murphy's going to play. Osai's going to play when he's healthy, and I think Yoshi's going to play.
Yeah, Murphy might if Osai's healthy, I could see them maybe deactivating Murphy for a few games, but they'll still get him in some games, especially on pass-heavy teams.
Right.
Again,
some people have said that they've been disappointed in Miles Murphy so far, and I'm like, well, he's only played 2 games, and I mean, have you really been impressed with anybody on the Bengals, preseason games? I mean, other than Yoshi, that's kind of he's really the only one that's really. I mean, nobody on the defense has really impressed me, to be honest. The defense really hasn't looked that good this preseason. I mean, Atlanta went up and down the field on us, so. The
D line looked really, really deep. Osai looked like
deep,
yes. Every game he played.
Yes, they look deep. Yes, I'll give you that, but not like nobody stood out, I would say.
Yeah, it's I was reading, and again, the number one rule of the internet: never read the comments. But on The Athletic, reading articles and saying that Murphy's a bust.
Yeah, I've seen people say that. I'm like, what are you talking about?
First off, he was one of the youngest in his class, and second off, we've played 3 preseason games, and if you actually watch the film, exactly. He missed the second one because he was sick.
Right.
If you actually watch the film, watch some, instead of just looking at the stat sheet and just watching the game live, he showed a lot of the ability of what you expect. His get off on the snap is absolutely lightning quick. With him, it's going to be more just making sure that motor stays at that level. And if he's something like Carlos Dunlap had issues his entire career with motor. I mean, that's why he was a 2nd-round draft pick with his size and strength and physical traits. It was how often was he motivated? Dunlap was a 10-12 sack guy.
Yeah. Also, they had that great rotation too.
Yeah,
back then,
exactly. So
and that's what we're going to have this year. I think we're having a really good rotation. All four of them stay healthy.
Yeah. So I'm not really concerned. Come back to me towards the end of the year if he's being inactive, or
at least November or December.
Yeah. If Cam Sample's getting a lot more run than he is, and then maybe we start to have a conversation of, what's the issue? Do you put weight on him and move him inside, or But I mean, let's give him at least one regular season game.
Let's let him
before we start calling him a bust.
Let's let him prove he failed first before we actually say it.
Right, exactly. Now we're just being absurd and ridiculous.
Right. Brett here says Bam Knight got cut at running back. Could this be a possibility? I'm trying to think who Bam Knight is. I can't even. That name does not.
I'm thinking Bam Morris, but that was.
Yeah, that's all. We're dating
ourselves there. 90s Steelers.
I'm trying to think who Bam Knight is. I don't know. I don't know who that is, to be honest.
There are a few running backs names that I've seen. Again, I don't, without actually diving too much into numbers and seeing how what they can do versus what the Bengals need. I mean, they need a guy who can block and catch.
Shoot, did you watch any of the Notre Dame game?
Did not.
I can't think of the dude's name. His legs are like freaking tree trunks. He's number 7. Oh my god! I'm like, dude, I hope the Bengals will draft that dude. I can't think of his name. I know it's against Navy, but I'm my kid, his legs are just freaking huge. Let's draft that guy next year. I can't say his name or what. Anyway.
Like Jamal Williams, you ever seen that guy's like I know he's with the Saints, but I mean that guy has his legs look like sequoias. I mean, good Lord Almighty.
Exactly. It's like
move the pile. Someone who's that small, but he's got that kind of leg drive.
His leg day is concrete cinder blocks.
Yeah, exactly.
Dustin here says, I'll be honest, I can't say that I'm super excited about Charlie Jones being the punt returner. He makes missability has been underwhelming, and I am part of the Chuck Sizzle clan. He hasn't. I was kind of with he hasn't stood out, and he doesn't have a hurt shoulder. Does that have something to do with being able to make people miss? I don't know. It's a shoulder, not his leg.
Is he being you wonder is he being tentative, trying to favor it? I don't know. You know what I want from my punt returner? Guy that does this.
Which is pretty much what they're making the punt return out to be anyway. Because, I mean, if you fair catch it pretty much anywhere, you get it at the 25 now or something like that. Not the new rule or something like that.
If you fair catch it inside the Reds, I can't remember. They changed the rules to more like the college rules. And I don't know. But again, he's been underwhelming. He looked a lot better as a receiver, especially last game. I was very underwhelmed with him after the Green Bay game. But he needs to get a lot more. It needs to get a lot stronger because he can't fight through tackles.
Right.
But I mean, I'm not. Again, you hold on to the ball and you call for a fair catch. That's all I want from. That's all I want from my punt returner.
And the thing is, he's a 5th round pick. So I mean, he's a 5th round pick for a reason. And they 5th round. I said it right. Yeah. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, Chiefs. Whatever, dude.
Or is he saying that's where Bam Knight was from?
Oh, is he? Oh, he says J.K. Jeff KC. Maybe that's who he is.
Or he's just someone with nothing better to do.
Maybe somebody just a Chiefs fan trying to troll me. Either way.
It could be.
Let's see here. This is one. Robert says, why didn't they call A.J. McCarron for a backup QB job? To be honest, I kind of wondering that myself because he looked pretty good, but I mean, he is older. I don't know.
That's he's enjoying his life in the XFL or what? Yeah. What was the latest one he's in?
XFL. He's playing for St. Louis.
Yeah, I was going to say the Battle Hawks or whatever.
Yeah. All right, so let's because they're going to pick up a quarterback. I mean, they're going to have to. You got Joe Burrow and you got Jackpot Browning. That's all you got, and that's not Chipotle sauce.
Jackpot.
You got Jackpot Burrow and Jackpot Browning. But Yumi talked earlier. I like Colt McCoy. I know he got released the other day from Arizona. I'm not saying bringing him in and make him definitely the number 2, but at least number 3. At least he's that veteran quarterback that you presence that you don't have in the room right now. Who else that's out there that you think might be a good fit?
The Patriots released Bailey Zappi.
Yeah,
And we were talking on the phone, and that's a guy to be interested in. It's
yeah.
I'm kind of confused why the Patriots did it. I don't know what their quarterback room looks like. I don't know who their backup is right now, but Mac Jones isn't Tom Brady. And
well, hopefully he'll be a little better this year. He'll actually have an offensive coordinator instead of two defensive guys trying to call plays, which never made any sense to me.
Yeah, but he's also football playing Grayson Allen too. Just this cheap shot artist, kind of jackknob that really somebody should have punched him in the face. Bengals should have. Someone on the Bengals could have punched him on the face during the game when he went after the knees on the interception return.
Yeah,
interception or fumble return, whatever it was.
I think it was a fumble return.
He's done done a couple things. He's punched a couple guys in the kicked a couple guys in the where the sun don't shine. And anyone that does stuff like that, I have no time for.
And Jeff here says Zabby's going to KC. That's cool. You can have him. I don't know. Let's see here, right here. Jeff, do you think we see some 4 and 5 wideout sets with the additional talent they have? The absolutely yes.
At least 4 wideout sets. I don't know how much 5 wide, because if they do 5 wide, they split out a running back.
Well, the funny thing is too, we keep talking about Charlie Jones and Yoshi. Trent Irwin had a really good freaking camp. Yeah. So my dude, I mean, he's your number 4 wide receiver. I mean, this is probably, I think, his best camp he's ever had. So, we keep talking Chuck and Yoshi, but don't forget about Trent. He's definitely gotten a lot better for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's a lot more of a high floor guys over there, high floor guy over Jones and Yoshi. Yoshi and Jones are a lot more higher ceiling, but you've got a guy. He knows the playbook. I mean, he's been around for several years, and he's reliable. I mean, he's not a guy who's going to. They're not going to double team. He's not a guy that's going to make a ton of guys miss.
Well, unfortunately,
so I think if you want to be more, was that?
I say, unfortunately, he proved that in the AFC Championship game against Kansas City. He couldn't get away from him.
Yeah, like he's you can scheme him open, and they're doubling everyone else. But when there are injuries, when he had to take over for Boyd, like he couldn't create any separation. So that's why and I said earlier when you put on Twitter like who's the surprise guy you could see cut, and I put him as a possibility just because he doesn't provide a ton outside of just being a back of the room receiver. He's not a special teams guy. He's not, and he's also not some kind of physical freak. He's going to be able to high point the ball or just this absolute like short little water bug that just run all these jet sweeps and gadget plays and everything. So, but I mean, that's your number 4 wide receiver, and he's a lot more accomplished and has a lot more ability than most guys, number 3 receivers. So I mean, I'm happy that he's on the team, but
yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Like out of the 3 guys we're talking, Trent Taylor, Chuck Sizzle, and Yoshi Voss, I think Yoshi Voss has the biggest ceiling, to be honest.
Oh, of
the
course.
Highest ceiling.
Yeah.
I mean, and I kind of said this tongue in cheek. He was going to be the star of training camp. There always is somebody, but I do legitimately think it's going to translate to the regular season. I mean, you usually have that breakout training camp star, and he's all talked about. And then you go to the regular season, you never hear from him.
Yeah,
we're going to hear from Yoshi. Yoshi's going to make some plays. I legitimately believe that.
Yeah, and again, because like when you're talking about the physical traits, nobody can match up with him on that team. I mean, they have some absolute freaks. I mean, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins is just a physical monster. He's faster, I think, than both of those guys. And he can high point the bite. He can jump higher than T. Higgins. Like, the stuff that T. Higgins can do. Like, I'm not trying to talk myself into saying, they can let T. Higgins go because they've got Yoshi.
We are by no means saying that. Well, whatever.
But I mean, he provides something totally different and just a totally different dynamic. I would love to see him get more run as the year goes on. Not to move on from Boyd, but to,
Boyd's gone after this year. He knows.
Yeah, and he's still an absolute like integral and useful piece. I mean, he's probably the best.
Sucks seeing him somewhere else. I'm gonna hate him.
He's one of those guys. Like it was hard seeing Jesse Bates the third wearing a Falcons jersey.
Yep.
It's going to be even worse seeing someone wear a TB jersey because he's been around even longer. So
yeah, it's gonna suck. I'm not gonna like it, but just like I said, we can't keep everybody. And TB, this will be his last chance to really go. Well, if he has a really good year, go get some money. Go get as much as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Ball out and get a big check, man.
I can't fault anybody for wanting to do that.
Yeah.
Robert here says, could you guys see us using Chase out of the backfield anytime? Seeing defensive units will key on him and Higgins for quick screens or as a play. They've done that.
Yeah.
I've seen them. So yes, that's kind of the Debo Samuel, whatever position. But yeah, I think Chase. I'm not going to say they do it a lot, but yeah, they'll do that because I've seen them already do it.
Yeah, either motion him into the backfield or on orbit motions, around the backfield, basically just to kind of keep guys from pressing and to keep the easy double team off of him. That's something that they absolutely need to do to get more explosive plays. And again, if they're going to key on him and he's out of the backfield, you're taking eyes out of the boundary. And if you've got T and again, you have Yoshi on the other side because you're running,
Right.
Okay, cool. Keep your safety's eyes on him. Keep your safety. Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
Exactly.
And talk about tree trucks for legs. That's Chase.
Oh man,
his calves are freaking ginormous. All right, Zach here.
He looks like a running like his lower body looks like a running back.
He was a running back in high school.
Yeah.
So so he's done it before. Zach here says, is Chris Evans a clear-cut RB2? Do you think he did enough in camp and preseason to get a shot since Williamson is currently hurt? I don't know. That's kind of where I don't know who the clear-cut RB2 is. Probably, I would think Chase Brown, but that's just a pure guess to be. Because I don't think any of them really established themselves as the clear-cut RB2. I mean, I don't know. What do you think, Joe?
It really depends on what are you asking. Is he the backup running back or is he the second running back that's going to come in, your third down back? I mean, those are two different positions. They've always, I think Evans is like, I don't think they trust him to be a 20 carry guy. If Mixon were to go down, Evans would not be the guy picking up the slack. But nobody can run routes like Chris Evans. He absolutely runs and catches like a receiver. And we talk about Jamar Chase, who looks and runs after runs with the ball like a running back. Evans is the inverse.
Right.
He still hasn't shown that he's able to follow the blocking. I made it after the
a little better.
Yeah, he got a little better, which is hilarious because after the Falcons game, I made a comment like that, not even criticizing, but I made a comment that Chris Evans, sometimes looks like he doesn't know where the blocking's supposed to go, and of course he likes it. He finds it and likes the comment. I didn't even tag him. I didn't even put his handle in there, but he like, dude, I've been absolutely tooting your horn for since you were drafted.
Dude, I'm a big Chris Evans fan. I like Chris Evans. I'm
exactly. He's got him
freaking. I love his skill set. I love what he can potentially do. I'm dying to actually see it on the field. And just to be clear, you're not getting Boyd. He's not. That we're talking about next year. So just relax.
Yeah, I don't like. How are they going to afford it? Because Mahomes deal is getting redone really soon. Yeah, how are you going to afford to pay Mahomes? What, $60 million? Because I mean, he's the one quarterback who can, who will get more money than Burrow and deserves, that you can say deserves more money than Burrow. Chris Jones he's going to get paid.
I still have him.
Yeah, they're paying mediocre tackles a lot of money.
That's why they couldn't afford Orlando.
Yeah. Well, no, they don't want him anymore. No, they don't. He's
no.
He's garbage.
All I can't see fans told me Orlando Brown is shit now. That we signed him. I'm like, okay, like all right.
Wait until you see Jawan Taylor, okay?
I know. Dude,
you guys are paying him like more, more average per year than Orlando Brown.
Well, and he's gonna play right tackle now because they did sign him originally as left tackle. Oh no, he sucks. We're gonna put him back at right tackle. At least
it's weird. I mean, again, we give the Chiefs crap. Bengals want to be the Chiefs. I mean, I want
to win the Super Bowl.
I want to win 3 Super Bowl. Super Bowls in 2 out of 4 or whatever it is. I mean, but
2 Super Bowls in 3 years or 4 years.
Yeah, whatever it is. I mean, hell, just win 1. I mean,
I'm good with winning 1 right now.
But no, you're not getting Boyd. You're not gonna have the money to pay him. Sorry.
Yeah, and he said
Bengals should tag him just to trade him. Somebody who isn't PC.
This is funny. He goes, Bones has tons of money on commercials. We're good.
I don't think State Farm can pay him what he's,
No, I don't think so.
when I think Danny Dimes is making more money annually than Mahomes is, and no, I mean Mahomes deserves he'll get a bigger contract. They're going to pay him. He's worth more than they can pay him. I mean, so is Burrow for that matter. And
Yeah.
I think Allen as well. Those three guys are worth so much more than teams can afford to pay them, with the salary cap. But I got a question for you. Like, there's all the talk about like running backs not getting paid because they're being undervalued, blah, 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 blah. What do you think about quarterbacks having their contracts like separate from the kind of in a separate category with the salary cap? I mean, NBA has
kind of said
all
that.
these exemptions.
Yeah, Dave Lapham's kind of said something like, give them a percentage of the salary cap.
Yeah, there's that, or only have a certain amount like count towards, because quarterbacks are getting more and more, and they deserve it. I mean, these are the guys that are.
Yeah, but the thing is, you get to the point where you have these great quarterbacks, and you can't really have a really great team. I mean, you can, but it's hard. It's going to get harder and harder because the money's just going to keep going up and up and up and up as far as great quarterbacks like Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes and all these guys. I mean, that's just the nature. Everybody's going to try to be the highest paid guy, and whoever it is, like it's going to be Joe Burrow here whenever the hell he signs the contract. Then the next guy is going to try to beat him. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, but it's funny because running backs, the franchise tag is less today than it was in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
If you were franchise tagged in 2015, you'd make more money per year than this year. It's just weird. All of the comment, like all of these running backs are like losing their mind. And I get it. It's a tough position. That position itself is, I think that's the shortest lifespan.
7 years. Well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I mean, you're not around long, even the best ones. I mean, if Joe Mixon hadn't taken a pay cut, he wouldn't have a job.
No, he'd be out there.
Doesn't have a job. Kareem Hunt doesn't have a job.
Yeah, he'd be out there with them, or he'd be making less money than he is now.
Right, and they're trying to come up with like, how do we get running backs more money? Like you can't. Like they're just not as. It's a matter of value. Yep, there are a few running backs that are going to get paid. Christian McCaffrey is paid a ton of money,
and he's more than just a running back.
Yeah, exactly. Burrow. Wow, Mixon was paid a ton of money for a running back. I mean, more than honestly, his value was higher than his contract was higher than his value to the team as a player.
All right.
But it's like, what do you do? Well, you tell them to either switch positions or suffer for only the several million. Like, it's.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going poor, but compared to what they were getting and how they were used,
the game has
the game's changed.
The game's changed. It's
it sucks, but that's just.
At least you're not a fullback. At least you exist.
Right, exactly. That's the thing with I think with Taylor, the Colts didn't trade him, and I read something that the union's going to file a grievance or something. That's going to be a big old mess there. Something like that. I didn't get to read the whole story before we jumped on, but something like that's going on with Taylor and the Colts.
Well, that's because their owner is just kind of a jackass.
Which kind of sucks for me because I drafted him on my fantasy draft as well.
That's why. See, I'm holding my draft on Sunday.
Yeah, I might have to bench him and put somebody else in there.
I've never. Okay, you can answer this. I've never been one. I've never held like when I've had when I've either been commissioner or any league where I'm putting money on. I've never had draft before cutdowns. Why would you? Because injuries and like depth chart and everything. I've always wondered like why would you?
To be honest, I am the wrong guy to ask that because I am not a big fantasy guy. I've just gotten into it the last couple of years. So, but I mean, it does make sense. I mean, the funny thing is, I could have drafted Kareem Hunt. I'm like, he doesn't have a freaking team. I'm like, why did I draft him? I mean, I drafted Jonathan Taylor because I thought he was going to play. Now I'm kind of screwed.
Well, and he's on PUP now too. So even if they were to come up with some sort of conclusion, he's still going to be gone for the first 4, 5, 6 games, however until they claim.
Yep. So I don't know. We'll see. It's like I said. I had 2 fantasy drafts. I made it through one on the other one. I felt like crap and just auto drafted the whole damn thing, and ended up with Deshaun Watson. And I looked the other day, I'm like, I'm crazy.
Oh man,
I'm like, I'm
sorry. I'm so
sorry. Like that's not really who I wanted, but whatever. So anyway, going into this weekend, we got college football starting. We're both Bearcat fans. UC's, yes sir. Going to start the inaugural season of the Big 12, going against Eastern Kentucky. What's your? I don't know what to think about this. I think we're going to win Saturday. I'll put that. but I'm not. I don't know where I'm at. Like I don't know if we're going to lose a ton of games, if we're going to be competitive. I can't really figure out where the hell the Bearcats are in the Big 12 this year. I mean, what's your thoughts?
First off, I don't know if did you see any of they had pictures about Nipper, like they had the new logos and everything on the field. That looks absolutely awesome. The other part is I was able, from some of those pictures, I was able to zoom in on my season ticket, and they had my cushioned seat back in place, so I'm good. So that's number one priority. My big old butt has somewhere cushy to sit on instead of just awful bleachers. So, okay, awesome. It's all about me, folks.
Duh. That's what I always say.
And whoever I drag along, my wife, my son, friend, whoever gets the seat next to me, it's about me.
Yeah, but you can drag me. I'll go with you.
Okay, cool. They're nice seats. They're on the visitor sideline, but it's just a few rows up.
My dad had season tickets for years, and then the grandkids got busy with football and everything else, and he was missing the UC games to go watch his grandkids, so he got rid of them. And now most of the grandkids are graduated, and I'm like, hey, you gonna get them back? He goes, no, I kind of like going and buy, go to the games I want to go to and sit in the suites with your mother. I'm like, oh, thanks. So yeah, they go the really cushy seats and the air conditioning and all that stuff. So
yeah, the suites are really, really nice. I got a friend of mine that her and her family has they've got those, and I can see them like when it's cold games. I'm like see them like inside with the windows pulled. I'm free. My balls off.
Actually, I'm gonna go down. Short Vine is gonna be a block party Saturday.
That'll be fun.
I want to try to hopefully go down there because it's gonna be like a door area, like kind of like just like the Banks. They're gonna have the big the game on the big screen. I'm gonna at least try to go down there. Like I said, I'm really I wish I'd give some really thoughtful thoughts about the Bearcats, but I just don't know.
That's the thing. Their defense is going to be good. I'm convinced the defense is going to be really good. Their defensive line is fantastic. They've got Juwan Briggs back. They have Malik Van back for his super duper senior year. This is his sixth year because he got the COVID year and medical red shirt.
Right.
The Godfather, Dante Corleone, is just an absolute. He as a backup last year. I mean, he was a rotational guy, freshman All-American. Like he made an All-American team. He's going to be a beast. He's going to be a high draft pick whenever he comes out. They have Daniel. I don't know how to spell his last name. It's G-R-E and then a bunch of vowels. I don't know. A bunch of consonants that are all pushed together. He's supposedly a really good pass rusher.
Who's the quarterback they got? He's from
Arizona State / Florida.
Florida. Yes.
The offense is going to be the question mark. They're replacing 5 starters on the offensive line.
Which is Satterfield's forte.
What's that? Yeah.
That's Satterfield's forte's offense. So
yeah. I think this year, if they're in contention to make a bowl game, it'll be a solid,
that'll be a solid
compared to expectations. It'll be a solid season.
Absolutely.
I think they're going to be better than people are. They haven't projected to be 13th out of 14 in the Big 12. Like a lot of this team is the same team that was in the college football playoff 2 years ago,
right?
And they were 9-3 last year. There's still a lot of talent.
So Steve wants to go over under Bearcats over 500 at the end of the year.
I think 500 is probably, if they're 6-6, they make a bowl game. And
I'll say we're winning 6.
Whoever's in the bowl game.
I'll say we're winning 6 games. We're going to make a bowl game. That's kind of where I'll leave it at. What bowl game and all that stuff, I have no idea. But yeah, I think we got. I'll be disappointed if we don't make a bowl game. I'll put it that way. That's kind of where I'm at.
What I would like to see. I know they brought in Emory Jones, to be the quarterback because he's that style of quarterback that Satterfield likes. He's got the dual ability. Malik Cunningham. I mean, he's actually that's who Patriots backup is this year. Malik Cunningham, and Lamar Jackson. I mean, these are the guys that Satterfield likes. I would be happy if Brady Drogosh, who's their 4-star freshman, were to take over at some point later in the season. I know he's third on the depth chart behind Brady.
I'm Brady. I'm curious to see Prater at a wide receiver.
I don't know. Like he's got. It helps with the quarterback because he knows what to look for with coverages, any option route, anything. Like he knows what the quarterback's going to look for, so that helps him. Yeah, I mean, being that tall and that lanky, I mean, he's going to get folded in half by safety at some point, and you're going to have to wonder if he's still alive at the end of the play. But
other than that.
I'm glad he decided to make a position change because he He was not a Power 5 quarterback. He was not a AAC quarterback. I was one of the guys that was like, hey, listen, Ben Bryant is who he is. He's okay. I want to see Prater out there. I want to see him, if you want to see what you have for the future, throw him out there. And then they threw him out when Bryant got hurt, and he looked like he'd never thrown a pass before. And things that were supposedly had a lot of pocket poise, and he seemed like he had no idea if his first read wasn't there. I mean, he's looking around. His eyes are the size of dinner plates, and it's like you can't go through you've been in the system for 3 years,
right?
And you look like you have no idea what's going on. It was hard to watch. I'm surprised he didn't transfer out to go play quarterback in the MAC or somewhere. But be fun to see what he can do with as a wide receiver. I mean, he's got speed, he's got size.
He got 2 years left to prove it. So
yeah,
we'll see. But I mean, that's this Saturday. Dude, Thursday night is college football. I can't freaking wait. We got 2 weeks till the Bengals actually play, which it's just, I'm like, I know it's been like this for a couple of years. We get to the preseason, then we got like 2 weeks. And then the season starts. I'm like, oh my God, like freaking hurry up. And I was talking to my son about this. It's like, you seem like the summertime went by kind of quick, but this training camp seems like it's taking forever. Now,
yeah,
me and him were like, well, the Reds were pretty good, so that kind of helped the summer go a little faster, I think.
Yeah.
But this training camp, just like, good God, can we get to the season already? And maybe because there hasn't been a whole lot to talk about. I mean, what is there like? And that's a good thing. I mean, as far as the team goes,
camp is camp. I mean, the players are putting their work in, but the game starters really, defense played one series, a couple offense starters. Well, one off. I think Jonah Williams was the only offensive starter who played at all.
Right.
Burrow wasn't throwing to these guys in camp, so it's like we just need to, I just want to see him throw the damn ball to one of these receivers, and then it's going to fly by until
right,
whenever that happens.
Well, one thing I would bring, and this cracks me up. Now, Jim Harbaugh and the Ratbirds are lost their 25-game preseason winning streak. Which, wow, who gives a shit how many games you want in preseason? But then he goes on a rant. Well, this is why preseason matters. And see, this is how we do it here in Baltimore. And I said, yes, and that's why you've been one of the most injured teams in all of football the last 2 years, because your dumbass keeps playing them in meaningless games. I'm like, you literally are explaining why your guys have been injured because you fucking play them in preseason games. Like, that's stupid.
Right. Peyton Manning, like the Colts under Peyton Manning, like they lost pretty much every game because he never played.
Right.
It's like, I want my guys healthy. And yeah, especially last year, like they struggled a little bit, like early in the season, especially the offensive line. Little Kings.
Hey, I liked Little King back in the day.
That brings me back to being a kid. My dad would have a lot of those pops and seeing those around. So,
dude, my dad had a keg of it.
But again, I'm completely fine with them being a little rusty the first couple weeks and not getting worn down. Like they've been a pretty healthy team under Zach Taylor. Outside of like injuries, like Burrow's knee injury, like that's nothing that.
Outside of the offensive line the last couple of years, we've been pretty healthy.
Yeah, and the offensive line, like those were kind of free. I mean, Jonah Williams dislocated 2 kneecaps. Dislocating one is weird enough. Dislocating 2, like one on each knee in the same season, like that's just.
But that's why you keep Lyle Collins.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's why I've said that this whole time. And I said the summertime, people are like, I kind of talked to Jay Morrison and a couple of different beat writers, like, I don't know if that's what happened. I'm like, why not? I'm like, I'd keep him. I mean, that's what I kept saying. Put him on the pup list.
Yeah.
You can hide him there, which you're not gonna. That's a hell of a freaking backup to have. You can play right tackle, right guard. I mean,
exactly. I mean, and it's to have that guy. You have that ace in the hole who's played at Pro Bowl level at 2 positions.
Mm-hmm.
He's still an absolute mauler in the running game. He wasn't great in the pass game because he had he was hurt. He had back issues last year, and then he's got knee injury now. But
well, and that's the thing too about I think put him on the pup list and let him get completely freaking healthy.
Yeah, no need to rush him or put him out there at 85-90%. Wait until he's 100%.
Right, exactly. People are leaving my house. I'm like, where are you guys going? I didn't know they were leaving. My girls left me. Oh, anyway. But yeah, And that's another reason I think people kind of have jumped on the thing about keeping Cody Ford. I'm fine with keeping Cody Ford. I mean, as a backup, I never one time ever thought he was going to come in here and fight for the right tackle position. I mean, honestly, the whole right tackle position, I never thought was a competition. I mean, to be honest,
yeah,
I think Jonah Williams gets your big butt over to right tackle, and you're the right tackle. And I'm like, I never thought that. Like, I didn't think Lyle was going to, because I didn't think he's going to be healthy enough, and I sure as hell didn't think Jackson was going to beat him out. So I mean, that was one that you're like, oh, it's a competition. That competition was over week 1.
Yeah, I mean, Carmen proved, and especially in the games, he's not a right tackle anymore. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of why I'm surprised he's around. He's awful on the right tackle. He's been okay at left tackle, but you know what happens if anything happens to Zeus Brown?
Jonah Williams goes over.
Williams plays left tackle.
Yeah.
So Jackson,
and either him or Cody will play right tackle then.
Or yeah, exactly. Like if you put Carmen on the right side, you're just absolutely just burning a spot right there. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you do just as well putting you or me out there.
Yeah, it's weird. He's good at basically one position, left tackle, and he ain't playing left tackle here.
Exactly. Like so that's why I get them hanging on to him. They can,
second round pick. That's why.
Yeah, I mean
that's the only reason they
draft capital, and he's a good run blocker.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he doesn't have the tools. He's got shorter arm. Well, I would develop. Try to develop him back at guard, honestly, but with his size and strength. But
let's say this. Let's say we get to a point where La'el Collins is fully healthy, and the offensive line's fully healthy.
Yeah,
and he's ready to be activated. Who are they cutting then? Because I would
Trey Hill.
That's the only one it could be.
I mean Cody Ford too, because again, Ford isn't good. He can play guard. Like he's not. If Ford's playing tackle, like they've screwed up.
Yeah.
I'm curious what's going to happen with I can't see the list here, but what happened to Deontay Smith? Is he
made the team?
Okay, yeah, he'll probably get put on PUP or on IR because he had the shoulder injury that he suffered. Mm-hmm. He's your backup right tackle when he's healthy.
I still keep dude. He's got a huge ceiling too. I'm a big Deontay Smith fan. I mean,
he's got a lot of the physical attributes. He's huge. He's got crazy long
arms,
condor-like arms.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I could see. Because the thing for me that I'm curious about, and we got a whole year till this happens, so I don't really want to talk about it for a whole year, but right tackle next year.
Yeah.
Because if Jonah, or I should say when Jonah proves to everybody he can play right tackle, along with him proving he play left tackle, he's going to get a bag of freaking money, and it's probably not going to come from us. I wish it would be. Yeah. Now, does that leave, do we keep La'el, which I think he's still under contract? So, I mean, are they keeping him and then Deontay Smith or Jax Carmen? Like, that, I mean, me personally, I hope they sign Jonah. I mean, I like Jonah Williams, and Malik Wright has said this on my show before, and he's confident that they'll sign Jonah Williams, which is surprising to me, because he said, what do the Bengals like to do? They like to draft and develop their own players. That's the essence of what Jonah Williams is. Yeah. So, but I just don't know that they can afford him. Is the thing.
Yeah, I guess it really depends on T. Higgins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still confident they'll be able to that they'll get something worked out with him. Even if it's not this offseason, like tag him next year. I mean, I don't, I don't want them to trade him. Like, again, what's Duke Tobin's thing? We're not in the business of making other teams better.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think they're going to try. I hope to God they're going to sign, but
yeah.
I mean, it's getting down to the nitty gritty, but I mean, I'll put it to you this way. I did not think, I thought they were going to either restructure Mixon or cut him. I was kind of surprised he actually restructured. I did not think they were be able to resign Logan Wilson and Pratt. I didn't think that was going to happen. And restructure, quote unquote, restructure Trey Hendrickson's contract. They did all three of those.
Yeah.
So the only thing left to do is get Joe and T signed. That, because we all think TB's gone. I'm 99% sure Cheeto's gone after this.
Yeah.
So but still, you signed
DJ Reader.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's going to be your biggest loss.
That's good, dude. Because we don't have any, and I'm a huge DJ Reader is my favorite defensive player. I love that dude because he's the straw that stirs the drink on the defense because he is the run stopper. We don't have anybody to replace him.
Yeah, you look at the numbers with him and without him, and it's not even a knock against guys like Josh Tupou or anyone else in the back of the room.
Just DJ's
There's nobody that's that good. He is that good of a player. He's the best defensive tackle, like not three technique.
No, he's a nose.
Run stopping defensive tackle, and he can, and he's strong enough, quick enough to get pushed in the passing game.
He's
He's not out there as much in passing downs, but like
that's the one
I would love for them to be able.
Yeah, that's the one that scares me because we literally don't have money. They're like, oh, you can draft somebody. Like guys like DJ Reader just don't grow on trees. You just don't go find that guy.
Yeah,
it's kind of like Gino. Oh, we'll go ahead and draft Geno Atkins. Sure, go ahead. I mean, I'm not comparing. Not Gino was more a pass rusher than DJ is, but you just don't find these guys.
No, those guys. Those guys don't come around often.
James
Unless Dante Corleone comes out for the draft because he's a redshirt sophomore.
Now I'll give Chad Brendel credit. That's kind of what he's told me. He's like, that's the guy you could draft. I'm like, no, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
that I could see, but it's still replacing a guy who I think should have been an All-Pro or Pro Bowler at least 2 or 3 times already.
Yeah,
he hasn't been, but you're trying to replace that guy with a rookie. I think I could be a pretty good rookie, but it's still. I would rather draft Corleone and keep DJ and let him learn under DJ, then let DJ go.
Exactly. Like, extend him for I know they have this, which again, this is better than the alternative, better than what they used to do. Just extend guys, and you have Carlos Dunlap and like these guys playing well into their 30s, and I get them not paying guys past age 30. Like I completely get that.
Yeah, I mean that's the window they've stuck with. But then I'm replacing with.
Yeah, there are some guys, and especially a run-stopping defensive tackle. Like this is something like these guys have a little bit longer lifespan. Now you need to monitor their snaps and like play them a little less. But this isn't a running back that by the time it hit age 27, absolutely drop off a cliff. By the way, what age is Joe Mixon? 27.
Okay,
that's why I was on the. I'm okay if they cut him. I was okay if they cut him.
Yeah, I was going to say 28. I couldn't remember 27 or 28. Yeah, well, Mixon's going to be here for at least a couple more years. So
I think this honestly this is his last year. He's signed through it, but I think this is his last year as a Bengal. I mean, he said all the right things. I mean, he wants to be a Bengal for life, blah blah blah. But you're an older running back. Again, I say this as someone who's approaching his mid 40s.
God, you're old.
Exactly.
Jeez, old. I'm glad I'm not that old.
I know. I've got a lot less silver hair in my chin than you do. That's why I keep it short. You can't see it.
This is distinguished. This is because of my wife and daughter do to me.
It's easy for me to say to someone who's in like 27, that they're old for their but he's got a lot of tread. For
running back, he is. I mean,
a lot of tread. A lot of tread worn off those.
Yeah, nothing gets Mixon. I love Mixon. Yeah, it's fact. That's his age.
He's been one of the top 3-4 running backs in team history, but his career here is about history.
Yeah.
So,
well, hopefully if it is history, it'll be not hopefully it will end with a Super Bowl this year. So we're going. Kansas City's got to come to the jungle. We're not going to Burrowhead. You got to come to the jungle. And I don't care if I'm still calling it Burrowhead just to piss them off. Yeah. Especially Jeff, whoever's comment on the channel.
That's Hefe. That's
Hefe.
Hefe is Spanish for chief. So that's I'd love to what's Mahomes' record on the road in the playoffs? Oh, wait,
good. He hasn't played any on the road
because he plays in the shittiest division in the NFL.
Right.
They never. No team even the Patriots would lose to some teams in the AFC East in their entire dynastic run. Like they're playing little sisters of the poor. They're playing the Chargers, who always look good on paper, and what happens to paper when you crunch it? Folds. Mm-hmm. Raiders are the Raiders, like they're talent, and then
but for the love of God, Patrick Mahomes jumped out of bounds and made an incomplete pass. But Joe Burrow actually did that in the playoff game against the Raiders. But oh my God, what Patrick Mahomes did was the greatest play ever. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like Joe did it, and he actually completed the pass, and it was in the playoffs.
But he didn't do the jump throw. He didn't look like Jeter.
He was up in the air and he threw it to the end zone. Right. He didn't jump.
Throwing a dime on the run to a target in the end zone, and mind you, Tyler Boyd was a lot further downfield than whatever guy Mahomes was throwing to. Like,
these people crap me out like, oh my God, did you see what Patrick Mahomes did? Holy crap, he is taking a humongous dump right in the middle of the field. That is the greatest dump I've ever seen in my life.
I would love Burrow to be at that like level of national consciousness to where the dumbest, most menial task that they do is looked at as it's like this thing that's been just the greatest thing that's ever happened. Like, I pray for that day, but like Mahomes does all kinds of crazy, awesome shit. Like he can throw the ball from so many 800 different angles, and his ability to avoid the pass rush and run around like a chicken with his head cut off for 45 seconds and then find a receiver open. That's unmatched. Like again, I take nothing. I have nothing bad against the same Mahomes, but he went out of running out of bounds, jumped through a pass that was off the mark. Like, cool.
Yeah, congratulations.
Good try. So can Trevor.
I mean, like I said, good try. I mean, what Joe did, he actually completed.
Right, exactly. Like, try doing it in the playoffs.
In the playoffs.
And not in preseason.
Win. Yeah. And that never, not a means it's preseason game. We're talking playoffs, baby.
We're talking playoffs.
Playoffs.
We're just trying to win another game.
We're trying to win a damn Super Bowl. All right. Joe, I appreciate you coming in for an hour, 5 minutes. Plug something here before I let you go, man.
Next Saturday, September 9th, at The Stretch on the Banks, Freedom Way, the Riverfront. We are live from 4 to 6. That's the Riverfront The Red Show with Chad and Nate Dotson. That's the Riverfront Bengals Show with myself and Greg Neiman. Late Night Reds with Tim Daniel and Ben Brown. We will be there live before the Reds game. Again, that's Stretch Cincinnati on the Banks. What's that?
Night before the Bengals
night before the Bengals opener.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be a lot of good college football going on. After we go off the air, after we're done, we're gonna walk across the street to go to the Reds game. So we'd love to see anyone from your audience. I know Jeff said he's gonna be there. So
yep, that's my plan.
I promise Jeff will. If you say something to me first, Jeff will give you a hug and a smooch on the cheek.
Yeah, what? I'll give you a hug. Okay. I don't know about fidget cheek. We'll see about that. We'll see. Anyway, Joe, I appreciate you, man. Glad we got to jump on. It's been fun. I miss doing this. Like I said, I haven't got to do it in a week. Finally, I actually left the house today. We went and saw a movie. So, yeah, I know. I've been stuck in the ice cave for a while. But anyway, dude, appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Hooday. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Rick the Rock, where you been at? Hefe, I enjoyed your comments on air. I think it's funny. But I do. Like I said, the whole trolling or talking back and forth, talking smack back and forth between the Chiefs fan and the Bengals fan, I think it's fun. I mean, I thoroughly enjoy it. Dale hates it when I call it Burrowhead, but I can't help it. That's what you named your stadium. It's not my fault. Anyway, let's get to the Facebook groups that let me live stream. And as always, I appreciate every single one of them. They are Houday Nation, Houday Legion, Bearcat Rockets, Radical Reds, the Ohio State Bucknuts, the Ice Bar. They can follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you call it, TikTok and Threads. Facebook is that's for Strawberry Ice. Twitter handle X is at Jeff A. Trenival. TikTok is at Iceman90. I'll be pulling this out later on tonight, putting on the podcast on BeanPod, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. Leave a comment and a 5-star review. Leave comments more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. YouTubers, 2,327 subscribers. As always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. Like I said, thanks for hanging in with me. Sorry I've been gone for a week, but like I said, I got sick, and it wasn't I would have much rather have been doing this than doing what I was doing when I was sick. So I appreciate you guys hanging with me and always being there when I jump back on. Bearcats playing this weekend. Bengals play in a week and a half. We got the WEBF fireworks. I got a show Thursday. Trag's going to come on. I got a couple people I've reached out to. Hopefully get them on Wednesday. I haven't heard back. So I know I got a show Thursday. I might have one Thursday and I might have one Friday. So that's why I always tell you to please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow me on X, Twitter, because every time I'm going to do a show, I'll post it out so you guys know. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. Jackpot Joey's going to be back playing week 1, and we're going to win the damn Lombardi. That's just sports, baby. See ya!